Starboys Network.
What's up, Cowboys Nation? Welcome to Starboys Network. I am your host, Zach White. Thank you guys for joining me on this beautiful Victory Monday. The game wasn't as close as it seems. 8 points. No, it was a domination, and we're going to dive into that. But make sure that you guys like and subscribe to this channel. Click that notification button so you can get notified when we have some great content coming back towards you guys, and we do have plenty of that coming. So also go to www.starboysnetwork.com to get caught up with everything that we have going on with the Starboys Report, and also with Talking Boys with the Boys, host Adam Y. and Mark D. So make sure to tune into that. But hey, this game was phenomenal. It was not quite as close as you would think. There was some domination, but let's just basically do my key takeaways for this game. You can't say main takeaways without saying Mr. Trayvon Diggs right here. So he joins Don Bishop from 1961, 1+ interceptions in each of the first 4 games. That's 1961. That's 1 year after the franchise came into play. So he is doing amazing right now. We're 5 interceptions in 4 games, and the sky's the limit for this kid. He's growing, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see what more he has to offer. And Dak Prescott had this to say after the game.
I mean, honestly, that's Diggs. I mean, some of these interceptions he's getting, I learned long ago in the spring not to try him on those routes and those plays. So when he gets interceptions, I almost laugh. Like, yeah, I understand. I go back to, I want to say last year training camp when he picked me off in back-to-back 2-minute drills, and I knew then that there's certain routes and certain concepts that you've got to know where he is, and you've got to know his position. And he's just a hell of a player, and he's going to continue to get interceptions just because of the way he studies, because of the way he goes about the game. He's an instinctive player. I mean, obviously he has hands. He's an old receiver, so he's disguising a lot of these guys, and then also just playing the best guy on the field. He's going to get the opportunity. So
there you have it. Dak talks about his willingness to compete and how great of a competitor he is with those picks and practices, and I kind of love their back and forth and kind of what they got going on. But you should definitely tune into that on Dak's Instagram. He's always kind of taking jabs at him. It's kind of cool thing to see. But yeah, Diggs is just, we're at that point where, I mean, we're already talking about a potential Pro Bowl for this kid, and we're only 4 games in his second year of his career. So that's definitely exciting to see, and I think we're going to see plenty more of it. I don't think this is the end of it at all. I think he may end up with 10+ before the season's over with, right? But the defense in general, we're all running on all cylinders. Everything that's going on with Dan Quinn right now in this defense is amazing. I mean, we're 2+ takeaways in 8 straight games, and that's the longest streak that we've had since 1999. So I know a little bit of that kind of divvied over to last season, but it kind of worked its way into this season, and that's these players, and that's their coachability and everything that they're bringing to the table, and then the new addition of these young guys, and they're bought in with Dan Quinn as well, and that's huge. That's huge, right? I mean, you had Gregory, who had 2 sacks, and I believe he had 2 tackles for a loss. And Anthony Brown honestly didn't have a terrible game, much better, much improved from his last performances. He had 6 tackles, 3 passes defensed. Curse is another guy who continues to show up. He's a hard, heavy hitter, and he had 5 tackles, 2 tackles for a loss. Of course, Parsons got his sack and his tackle for a loss. Osa, these young guys are flying around the ball, and this defense is really creating pressure and getting home. And I can't talk about that enough, and the importance of that with this defense. And we got to keep. And this is not even mid form, and we're still missing guys, right? We're still missing D Law right now, Donovan Wilson, and I'm not so sure that Donovan Wilson may not be fighting for his job when he gets back, because that's how well some of these safeties are doing. Now, there was some issues over the course of the game. Of course, Sam Darnold he's got some sneaky feet, and DJ Moore. Let's talk about DJ Moore. DJ Moore is damn near unstoppable, right? They had him lined up everywhere. They created mismatches wherever he was, and they made sure to get him out in the open and get him across the middle of the field, especially on those linebackers, so he could do his damage, and that's where he does his damage best. This is a guy that I was looking at wanting to draft when we moved on from Dez. He's a special talent, but he couldn't carry this team alone. Maybe if Christian McCaffrey's in this game, maybe it's a different story. But that's not what happened. So we'll switch over to the offense. Mr. Dak Prescott had himself a hell of a game as well. 14 for 22, 188 yards and 4 touchdowns. So you're not used to seeing that yardage, right? Or you're seeing more yardage, should I say. And that wasn't quite this game, and it was because of what the defense was able to provide for us. And it just kept putting us in really, really great situations. So, but I can't speak to the management and everything that went into that game plan, right? It seemed like we came out right off the bat. The first play of the game, Zeke missed and rarely ever happens, a rare miss, a blitz pickup, and Dak almost gets sacked and almost gets strip sacked. And he managed to get the ball out to Zeke, and that's just one of those things that you can't create. You can't create that playmaking ability, the understanding, the knowledge to try and get rid of that ball at that point in time, and not want to go down in that situation right out the gate. And I mean, he just proved it time and time again throughout this game. Finding open receivers, and there was great opportunities for him nonstop, and even with his feet, right? That's something that looked really, really good. Those feet, he was moving. I mean, there was a 4th and 3, and he was able to get his 20-plus yards roughly off of that. So just clutch moments. There was another one where Biotish had a bad snap to him. He picks the ball up off the ground and runs it for 17 yards on 1st and 20. So Dak is doing Dak things, and that is great. But I want to talk about right now the resurgence of Zeke, right? So he's back, and he's looking amazing. He's looking like himself. He's got that nasty jump cut kind of coming back. And if we're, and these are facts right here. Cowboys are 25-4 when Zeke has over 100-plus yards. Those are pretty amazing statistics right there. So it's really great to see him back. He had 143 rushing yards and a touchdown, was averaging 7.2 yards a carry. That's huge. That is huge to see him back. And for everybody, for all of you who doubted him, I'm just so happy to silence that noise finally, because he is back. And you do have a great 1-2 punch in him and Pollard, and that's going to continue throughout the season. And you can try and stop us through the air, but we're going to run it on you. We're going to run it all over you. You can try and stop the run. We're going to pass it all over you, because Dak Prescott is killing folks out there. And if you can manage to guard those elite level wide receivers, then guess what? We got some pretty damn good pass catchers underneath for either of our tight ends. And we even got Donovan Wilson. We don't even have Gallup in this offense. I want y'all to take the time to let that sink in. We don't have Michael Gallup or Lyle Collins currently playing. That's huge. I can't even say any more than that. Like, it's going to be so good once we get to that point to where we get our guys back healthy. We hit a mid-season stride, mid-season form. I just don't see anybody stopping us at this point. So there's always trick games, but I'm ready. 36-28, your final. It was lights out. It was lights out. there was a little bit of concern right there with that defense because they do have a very special defense. I'm not going to put that past them. They were hitting hard. They were pulling blitzes, and you know what? Giving the clap to good old Mr. Kellen Moore as well for adapting and adjusting his game plan coming out of that the next half and really just going all gas, no brakes. It was a great thing to see. But make sure that you tune in this week. We are going to have another show coming up discussing everything and anything that's going into this Giants matchup. But until then, just enjoy your victory Monday. It feels good. The Dallas Cowboys are 3-1. There's going to be plenty more wins.